section has a hodgepodge of different training exercises. The potential problem being that a lot of the dogs that I see in later life have problems with specific events or objects in the house that could have been prevented if they'd been sufficiently socialised with them when they were young puppies. Puppies don't know about hoovers when they're first born, and they are very noisy, sucky machines. There are other things that are loud and brash that can really frighten puppies. Secondly, there are lots of things that make puppies excited. Puppies are generally very excitable little creatures, and when they become excited they want to play, and so far they've learnt to play with their mouths, as we've discussed in the biting session. So when kids run around and elicit lots of excitement, chances are your puppy's going to start to use their mouth. They're going to bite dressing gowns and slippers and legs and that kind of thing. So there's lots of errors that could very naturally occur accidentally with the puppy. So instead of letting all those things happen, letting the puppy feel frightened of household appliances, letting the puppy do inappropriate behaviours around excited events, we can train them to do other things that are more rewarding. We're going to socialise the puppy so that he learns that going near and being around those noisy things is good and rewarding and not scary after all. We're going to also train the puppy to stay calm and to watch those exciting events happening and control those impulses without going in there with his teeth. If a puppy struggles, we're also going to train them that there's a specific mat, and when that mat goes down, it's desirable to us for them to settle on that mat, and therefore it's rewarding to them to settle on that mat. In addition to that, we're also going to teach a drop. This is one that I think is really good to teach right from the word go, so that when the puppy grabs the shoes or the post, then we can ask them to drop, and they will know that us coming and taking that item doesn't warrant them taking the item and hiding it or guarding it, but actually it's brilliant, and as soon as we say the word drop, they're going to go, oh my god, this is brilliant. I love it when she says drop, when she asks me to drop things.
So first off, just looking and being around the noisy thing is going to mean that this puppy gets treats. So every time he looks or goes towards the hoover, he's going to get a treat. Then secondly, what we're going to do is start to turn it on, give him some treats, and then turn it off again. So that every time the noise is on, he gets treats, and he starts saying, God, I love it when I hear that noise, because every time the noise comes on, I hear treats. Yum, yum, yum. And then thirdly, we're going to start when the puppy's calm with the noise, doing the noise and a little bit of movement. And that gets a click and a treat. And then the noise and the movement stops, nothing happens. And then the noise and the movement starts again and he gets a treat. So we're going to start conditioning this puppy to love the sound and the noise of the hoover. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to click and treat every time the dog's able to look at the exciting thing going on and then come back to us. So he's looked back and he's got a treat. Now secondly, we're going to move a little bit closer and do the same thing again. Slowly over time, we're going to decrease the proximity between us and the exciting thing that's happening so that we can get closer and closer to the visual of him doing it. And then thirdly, we're going to start rewarding calm behaviours around these exciting things. So the more his little boy jumps around and he stays calm, the more treats he's going to get. So to start with, get a mat. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place the mat down and click and treat the dog for sniffing or touching the mat in any way. Keep doing this and the puppy will eventually sit or lie on the mat. If he gets up or moves away from the mat, lift the mat up for 30 seconds, then represent it to play again. So every time he moves away from the mat, he realises that the game finishes for a bit, and then he put it back down and he realises that staying on the mat is the best place to go. Eventually your puppy will get comfortable and settle down when he does click and treat. Then what you can do is you can lure his head onto the side so that he goes into a settle position. Click and treat as he pops over into the settle position so that he knows he's going to stay there for a while. Keep rewarding him and start getting up as well as moving away. So as soon as he realised that it pays to stay on his settle mat, what you want to do is you want to start moving further away and for longer, and having treats happen with longer time between them. So the longer he stays on the mat and the further his owner moves away and the more busy they are, the more treats that he eventually gets, so that he realises that as soon as you pop the mat down, it's time for him to relax and to sleep. When it comes to releasing him, throw a treat across the floor and say okay to finish. 1. Practice saying the word drop and then clicking straight away and tossing a load of treats on the floor. Point out each of the treats so that your dog gets used to your hands going around their things. This a whole load of times and then start repeating it when the dog's actually got something in their mouth. So remember, say the word drop, click straight away, toss treats on the floor and then point them out. So once you've got to a point where you can say the word drop and the dog anticipates treats coming from the sky, you can begin to play with a toy, say the word drop and wait for the dog to actually drop before you click and treat. But this is the final stage and you want to practice the others plenty of times first.